I'm Wendy Desabate from St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I currently live in Miami, or wherever my passport lands me. I love supporting others in learning how to live their best lives.
I'm Derek Lumpkins, a Boston-born globetrotter and photographer with the soul of a polyglot.
As lifelong friends, we're constantly talking about history, the arts, missed opportunities, and the road less traveled.
Welcome to Things They Don't Teach Us,
a podcast about life's tips, tricks, and insights.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on?
Another day in paradise.
I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
It's been a minute. We got to fix that.
Mm-hmm. Where have you been traveling lately?
Let's see. I was in Australia for about 3 weeks, which was fabulous. Even though it was technically their winter, it's not winter as we know it, at least not the time I was there. It was more like a very crisp fall, like early fall or early spring up north. So we're talking highs in the daytime of, let's say, 72 to 74, and in the evenings, probably in the mid to low 60s. The coldest it got was 47, but I was on a night hike in New Zealand, and yeah, it was a little chilly, but if you kept moving.
And in Celsius for the international crowd.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's when you ask Google. Today's show is being brought to you from Miami, so yeah, we're doing Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you been traveling to, sir?
Well, I've been spending a lot of time in Spain, one of my favorite countries. But I did do a quick trip to Tunisia, which I had no idea how close Tunisia is to Spain. Like, you see it on a map, the Mediterranean is in between. And I'm like, okay, how long does it take to fly there? It takes 90 minutes to go from Barcelona to Tunis. It's so close. You just don't realize. So I sort of did it on it literally was sort of a last minute trip. I decided 4 days before I went that I was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it was high summer, so it was hot, but it was also hot in Spain. So I was like, I'm getting the same heat. But it was pretty cool. The way the transportation is set up there, and also the fact that they speak French and Arabic, it was a little difficult for me to figure out how to do a quick excursion out of Tunis to somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I just spent 4 days in Tunis, just exploring the city, really going literally down back alleys and side streets that if I were with other people, they probably would be questioning my decisions. But, as long as I kept my mouth shut, people just thought I was a local. I just kept it moving.
Mais Derek, en français.
Another time. Speaking of traveling, of course, when we travel, we meet people, and sometimes it's for more than just a quick question about, where's the bakery, or how do I get to the metro? Sometimes it's a little bit more than that.
It's for that special friend or meeting special people.
And have you ever met a special certain someone as you've traveled?
Yeah, I go to Paris all the time, and been going there long enough now that I started making friends. And then you go out to certain places and you get hit on. I mean, it happens. Have I dated overseas? Yes, I have. And it's always very interesting because, you come with sort of your American perspective on things, and then they have their perspective on things. And it's like not so much a culture clash. Sometimes is more of a, I don't know. I don't know what the right word is. But I have traveled and met people and gone on dates, yes. What about you, sir?
I have as well. First I'll tell you a story that wasn't quite that. So one was I was in Singapore, and I was just walking along, it was a hot day. It's always summertime there. And someone approached me. He's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. He's like, oh, what are you doing later today? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Nothing in particular. He's like, do you want to come to church with me? And I was sort of like, well, it is kind of hot. I was like, is your church air conditioned? And he's like, it is. I was like, okay, sure. And I'm thinking, it's probably like some Catholic church where it's like a 1 hour mass. No, this was like some evangelical thing that was going on all day. And after about 90 minutes, I was like, I have to go. I have things to do. He's like, oh, but I thought, yeah. I'm like, no, I got to go. It was just too long. So, okay, that's not quite where we're going with this. But yeah, I've met people in Spain, in the UK. I used to live in the UK. I used to live in Japan. So like I've met people and gone on trips there. It's a little different because I was living there. But yeah, I've been to places where like I have gone on dates, and sometimes it goes really, really well. You have a good time, you exchange numbers, or in this case, you exchange
Yeah.
Instagrams, and you just stay in touch. And other times it just goes really badly because people just like, this isn't what I expected. And that's the thing. People have these expectations of an American, of a Black American, because of what they see on
Hmm.
TV, what they see in the movies. And it's kind of like, if you don't see me for who I am as a person, what you watch on TV is not going to matter.
Well,
We're laughing about
you're
this.
not the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
I'm not the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I am not Tay Diggs, although I didn't mind that one so much. I'm not Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan or like any of the basketball players. There's so many things, so many things.
Yeah,
And
yeah, the
the
stereotypes.
U.S. markets us well
Hmm.
when they need to market us well. They market us well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting the cultural expectations because people assume that, especially being a woman, you're gonna have this sort of attitude. It's like, no, we
Mm-hmm.
don't do that. We don't do
Mm-hmm.
that. No, I'm not. That's not my scene. So yeah, it is very interesting how what they expect from Americans, especially Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of brings us into our guest today. So
Yes, it
today's
does.
guest is my good friend Lia Castillo. It's funny, Leah, I've actually met her in Paris. We just happened to be there at the same time together and we hung out. So she travels equally, if not more, than you and I, Derek.
Okay.
And a little bit about Miss Leah. Some people walk into a room quietly. Leah makes an entrance. She carries herself with a kind of elegance that isn't taught, it's felt. Thoughtful with her words, intentional with her energy, she has a way of turning a simple moment into something unforgettable. I love this bio. Born with a creative instinct and a love for connection, Leah built her world at the crossroads of strategy, storytelling, and culture. She has shaped global experiences with Spotify and Citrix and brought bold campaigns to life in music, fashion, and hospitality. Whether on stage, a beach, or a screen, she knows how to create a moment. She knows how to create moments that stick. Her Dominican roots and Antillean spirit runs through everything she touches, bringing color, rhythm, and authenticity to her work. She thrives where culture meets commerce, turning big ideas into experiences that feel alive. Please welcome to the show today, Miss Lia Castillo.
Hi, y'all. How's it
Hey,
going?
good.
Good. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Great. Looks like you're traveling as well. Where are you today?
I'm in DC today. I will leave DC this afternoon and get back to sunny Miami, which I heard is not so sunny right now.
No, it's not sunny. It's been raining, like biblical rain.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Yeah,
We need Noah to build another ark, I'm assuming.
basically. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, I want to say I spent the past 2 weeks in New York. But I'm homesick now, so I'm like, okay, let's go into this hurricane, the tsunami that's happening.
It's monsoon season down here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be in rain, honestly, and not walking the streets of Manhattan all over.
And I don't know if we were clear earlier when we were talking about the topic for today, Derek. It's traveling and dating and how those two roads kind of intersect or disconnect.
So it's
Yeah.
traveling, and then you meet someone and you go on a date.
Yeah, I mean, some of us, upon occasion, have been fortunate for someone to say, "Hey, why don't I fly you out here to meet you for dinner or something." It hasn't very happened very often in my luxurious years, but it has happened. I've been fortunate enough, and I survived the tales.
Yeah. I've survived those tales as well. I'm not a fan of doing that. I prefer to meet someone, connect with someone, meet someone. I already had my travel plans in motion, and while I'm there, they like serve as the experience expert, if you will.
Hmm.
They know what areas to go to, where are the liveliest places to like hang out, what bars have the best cocktails. So typically what I do when I'm dating or traveling, if you will, is I use dating apps. And those dating apps, whatever they I connect with someone and I let them know I'm traveling there in advance. And I'll just say, hey, I'm available this day or time. If you have any ideas of what to do in the area or like where to go, somewhere lively, somewhere obviously very public, let me know and I'm open to going there. So sometimes you kind of weed out the like trying to find last minute things and then
Mhm.
by doing it in advance.
That's actually a very clever idea, using the dating app as almost like a tourism bureau.
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how many experiences I've had where it's like I got to see the country as a local, but
Yes.
with like someone that I was actually interested in, like conversationally wise and aesthetically wise. And it just made elevated that experience so much better, so much more.
Interesting. I never thought about it that way.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering, well, that gets me thinking, how do you set the expectation? Because when you're on the dating app, at least on the dating apps I use, there are some very strong expectations around what's going to come out of meeting. But then, you may just want to see things as a local would rather than, you know, just, you know, exploring the physical with this other person. You may actually want to see the sights and taste the food and, drink the drinks
Yeah.
and all those things. And then there's
You,
that little slice in between where there's a balance. Like, how do you strike the balance there?
You know what's funny because for me, I've been on both spectrums. I live in a very visited city. I live in Miami, and people come to Miami constantly looking for quote unquote tour guides. And I noticed that while while living in Miami and not really traveling. And then I I thought about it while I was started traveling. I was just like, hey, people use dating apps to get tour guides. Why shouldn't I? So I kind of tweaked my bio a bit like whenever I'm traveling in order to say like hey, I'm in such and such city. I have my own agenda, but I'd love to experience this through different eyes and different vision or what have you. I'm very meticulous about the word choice that I use so that when we finally connect, we engage, it's like a mutual interest, like, hey, I want to actually show her this versus like I'm being treated like a tour guide. It's more of a engaging matter where there's mutual interest in both parties to do something cool together. And oftentimes it's like they'll say like, perfect example. How many times, if you're a New Yorker, how many times have you said that you've gone to the Statue of Liberty? Probably next to none. So here comes someone that's visiting New York and they're like, "Oh, I'm in New York for some time. I actually want to check out some cool experiences and like do some touristy things." And someone's like, "You know what? I actually never gone to the Statue of Liberty." So it's a
Yeah.
very mutual interest, and they feel like a tourist for a day too, and you do as well. But you have a local's viewpoint, so it makes it much better.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for both of you. Because it's funny. Last summer I was in Paris for the whole summer, and I did meet someone, and we went places I would have never gone to.
Yeah.
And for him, same thing. He hadn't been to some of these places either. He's like, I want to check these different parts of Paris out. Some places right outside of Paris, but like we went on this walk in this park that had a waterfall.
Hmm.
Most Parisians don't go there. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And it's like you kind of start seeing things like together and then you can recollect those experiences in the future and you'll always
Yeah.
have that person that even if it doesn't lead to anything romantically, the truth is dating apps are to lead to something romantically, but if it
Mhm.
doesn't even lead to anything like that, you just end up forming a friendship and you
Yeah.
can still stay
Yeah.
connected. Like, hey, remember that time that we went to this park in Paris or outside of
Yeah.
Paris?
Yeah.
Remember that time that restaurant that we went to? Like you just have those friendships. Like I have a friend that I met um at so I'm a member at a members club, and this members club is located all over the world. And the benefit of this members club is that it's a community. So go to this members club in Barcelona. I meet this guy with my friend, and me and this guy just have a very like instant connection. We just like start talking instantly. We
Mhm.
start hanging out in tandem with my friend, but also separately from my friend. Then 2 years, nothing ever happened with me and this guy. We just stayed very connected. 2 years later, I get invited to Portugal for a wedding. And I remember that he lives very close to Portugal. And I text him, I was like, hey, just checking in. How are you? And he's like, I'm good. We talk about like small talk, how's dating? Oh, I'm still single. Da da da. I'm like, hey, why don't you come to Portugal with me? I have to be there, set dates. I have a wedding. Please be my plus one. And he was just like, are you sure? You know, weddings are very intimate. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the best. I'm the maid of honor, and they're actually expecting me to bring someone. I told them that I don't have anyone to bring, and he's like, no, I'd love to go. So he came, and we had like the best time, and he was well received. It was just like a really good experience. So it's just like, I never say, like, I always tell people, like, even when you're dating abroad, if that person is not the right person for at that time, you never know if that person can be the right person at a later time. So just don't ever end connections there.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And also,
And
you have a friend.
Exactly. Whenever I go to, he lives in Seville. Whenever I go to Spain, I'll message him like, "Hey, what restaurants are new? Where should I go?" And he's like, "Hey, do you want me to fly down, or like I can take you here? I can come meet you somewhere. We can go somewhere together." And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
"Okay."
that's cool.
You got a road warrior friend now. That's pretty
I
cool.
do. I do. And it's great. You just have to, I feel like you just have to be very intentional and clear in the communication and how you present yourself on these dating apps, and how you communicate what you're looking for. And just so that people, one, don't feel like they're being used, but most
Mhm.
importantly, where it's like, it's mutual interest at the end of the day. It's
Mhm,
like you
mhm.
guys are doing something that you want to do together or with someone, and you just so happen to meet on a dating app, and you're like, okay, we can do this together.
Have you
Yeah.
ever met anybody you didn't want to leave? Who just tempted you to be like, yeah, I could stay here. I want to stay here.
Um,
Uh-oh.
Or the opposite, when you're like, you know what? I met this guy, and if he's a representation of this country, I am out.
You know what's funny? I am the friend that there's a meme that's circulating online where it's like, it says like, I'm the type of person, I go to a city and 5 minutes later I'm like, I could live here. I am that person. Like, I don't care what the city is. Like, I will make myself comfortable. You can leave me in the middle of nowhere and I will come back with a friend and a dog and a date, if anything. So like everywhere I go, I always want to stay and extend my time. Um, but I have met someone where I just never wanted to leave, and we ended up having a relationship for over a year, um,
Long
and it was
distance.
great. It was long distance. I prefer to date long distance than to date short distance, and the primary reason is because I have my routine when I'm home. I go to the gym. I have my friend group. I have my family, and I'm like very close
You have your
my
dogs.
house, my dogs. So it's like taking if I date someone in Miami, it takes away time, and then it's just more it's more chaotic for me. So I prefer to like live a very like dateless life in Miami and
Mm.
just date when I'm traveling. Um and that makes it easier because I also work remotely. So if I want to see that person more often, I can take my computer. I'm not bound by borders. So I can just take my computer and work in any country. So to me, it's just a better life than
Mhm.
to have them so close to the comfort of like in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Um, so I prefer to do it long distance. But I have met someone we had a long distance relationship. They lived in the islands, and I would just travel every sometimes as frequently as every 2 weeks, sometimes once a month. And then we would take like big trips like during the summer. Like we would spend the entire summer together, and like we'll start in one country and then end in another country. It was
Yeah.
great.
Nice.
What's the downside of dating like in this form that you were talking about?
If you ask my parents, they'll be like, she's never gonna get married and settle down and have kids and stuff like that. And the truth is, I don't. If I'm being honest with you, like to me, marriage or meeting someone is not settling down. It should never be settling down. You should consider it as a partnership to grow each other. And I think the downside is the more legalities that there are when it comes to like if you really do like someone and you decide that you want to move forward, there are legal issues with immigration laws and partnerships and what have you. Like if I meet someone in Europe, I can only stay in Europe for a certain period of time. um, I was seeing someone in London, and I remember I flew to London maybe like 3 times over a period of a month and a half. And when I got back to the States, Border Patrol was like, so what's going on? Like you've been to London a few times, like in a very short period of time. And I just like I kind of like got shy, I started blushing, and I was like, I'm dating someone. And thankfully the person that the officer was a woman, and she's like, oh, I understand. It's okay. You can go.
Yeah.
So I was a little scared at first. I was just like, oh no, am I in trouble? But yeah, that's like the downside. The downside is the legal implications that you may get by entering a country too many times and entering your country too many times or leaving your country too many times. And like just like the thought of trying to get citizenship there if you decide to move forward with it, any type of immigration issues, things like that.
So my question though is, we touched a little bit on it earlier. When you set your expectations in your profile,
Mhm.
you go out with this person, what kind of tips and tricks, or do you use the same tips and tricks you would use here as far as your safety and not finding yourself, in the bottom of a yacht someplace being sailed off to an auction site? Hey, what happened? I've
Is
seen
that
the
a
movies.
concern of yours?
I don't think I'm on the roster of what they're hunting for. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Leah's still young and she's cute. Let's be real.
Thankfully, I've never ended up someplace I did not want to be. I mean, I did end up on a yacht somewhere in the middle of the ocean, but it was a yacht, and I was okay with the company, so it was okay.
If one must
Uh,
get Shanghai, at least make it be in style.
exactly. Like I had a Aperol spritz in hand. I was okay.
But so did that lady
uh,
on the White Lotus. I don't know if you saw that
exactly.
episode. She had that, and then she
Yes.
said the gays are trying to kill me, and she got knocked in the head and fell off the
She
boat.
knocked exactly. But thankfully, that never happened to me. But I have ended up on a yacht somewhere in the middle of the ocean. But um, when it comes to the question like tips and tricks, there's a few things that I keep in mind. Like um, I never start with like a suggestion to a bar. I always start with a suggestion to like a dinner, or like maybe if you want to keep it short and simple, like a cool walking area or like some type of experience. And then from there, the second experience should be like a cocktail. And the cocktail of choice, or the cocktail bar of choice, what I do is once we decide where we're going, I find the cocktail bar of choice, because I never want that person to have like a tie to that cocktail bar. If they just so happen to have one while we're there, okay, great, that's fine. But I selected that cocktail bar, and I'm not worried about my drink being spiked or anything like that, or
Mm-hmm.
something happening like that. So I choose whatever place that we go for any type of libation, I choose that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm always very mindful. I never share drinks with someone. It's obviously a first date. I have like a very a germophobic type of thing. So like I never like share drinks. What else don't I
I mean,
do?
like here, if you were home, you could like leave your itinerary with a friend or tell a friend track your phone. You don't have that luxury in Portugal.
I am very connected. I have that luxury.
Okay, but to those of us who don't,
To those of us who don't, I I put an air tag, but not an actual air tag because AirTags notify if the other person has an iPhone, you'll get a notification saying you're traveling with someone who has an AirTag or something like that.
Mm.
But I put a tile tracker, like whether it's like in my pocket or something, and I share that tile tracker with like my close group of friends that if I know something goes wrong and I go ghost, if you will, for a
Yeah.
short amount of time,
Yeah.
I know that they'll hop on a flight and come and try to find me.
Yeah.
Wow, those are some good friends.
Yeah, I have a very dedicated friends.
Yeah. But no, but that's a good point. I mean, again, you can't give someone you can't to tell your mom in Miami track my phone when you're in Barcelona or something. That's a little challenging, you know. And we've all
Yeah.
seen again the Lifetime movie where something happens and it's like she got snatched. It's like but the tile tag is a good idea. I have one in my wallet actually.
Tile tag over air tag only
Yeah.
because tile tag doesn't notify people that they're being tracked. Another thing that I do is whenever I travel, like I just like if I have friends in that area and I'm going out on a date, like I'll see if I'll share the profile and I'll be like, hey,
Mm,
do you know this person? Like see if there's any mutuals,
yeah.
to try to get an understanding of like who I'm meeting. But I
Yeah.
also like just take the precaution of like meeting in a very public place, like
Yeah.
extremely public. Like we're
Yeah.
meeting at a park, we're meeting close there, and when we go to this park or wherever we go, I know exactly where there's a police station close by. Like we're meeting somewhere that I know that my safety is not going to be an issue.
That's
Is
smart.
it is it worth it? I mean, to have the tile tag, to know the police station, to look for the bar. I mean, it sounds like there's so many levels of security and safety you have to build just to go on date number one. Is it worth it?
Even here in the
And
big one USA, yes, you have to. You be
Mm,
there's
yeah,
so many weirdos out there.
mm.
I
yeah.
mean,
Um, to comment on that, I was going to agree with you, Wendy. I was going to say, like, even in the US, I do this. Like when I used to date in Miami, I would just make sure, like, in Miami, I have people that can easily like come and
yeah,
get me or
yeah,
like make sure that I'm okay. But when you're traveling abroad, it's the same thing. Like I think it's worth it because yeah, there are some risks, but as you get older, you need to learn how to take calculated risks that can take your life to different levels. And those levels can be anything from just something that's motivational, something that is an experience, something that's storytelling. You never know, like what experiences you have can help you create something in the future. Like I have a friend that became an artist, a very well-renowned artist based on all of her experiences, and she puts she uses her experiences to create these masterpieces, and she has partnerships with brands like your Levi's, like
hmm
your
yeah.
wine, like a winery in Napa Valley, like all because she decided to do art. So it's like I, I think it's worth it as so long as you know the risks that you're taking and so long as you make sure that you are taking these risks in a calculated manner and you know that your safety is always going to be number one. I say it's worth it.
No, that's
That's a
well
good point.
said. That's well said. And then, as you
Yeah,
say, there are risks associated with everything. So
Yeah,
you may as well have a good time and travel while you're doing it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
this is true. That's no stamps in a passport. I wish
Well,
they
pretty
gave
soon
us
in
some.
Europe, there'll be no passport stamps in Europe. They're getting rid of that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, starting I think next month.
yeah. A
Once
lot of
you
countries don't
enter,
stamp anymore.
yeah.
When I went to Australia, they don't stamp, but if you ask, they'll stamp for you.
Yeah, it's the same in oh my God, what country is it?
Even
I
the US
think
doesn't stamp anymore. Yeah,
I it's in Mykonos, I think. When you land in Mykonos, if you want to get the stamp, you have to go to like the library.
yeah,
Get the
yeah.
stamp. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
You have to. It's not. It's getting more and more common that countries aren't stamping, which kind of sucks because it's nice to have that book. But that's just me.
They may as well just get rid of passports at this point.
I
This
mean,
is true.
I think it's becoming that way. Like TSA just incorporated a touchless system where they just take your picture to travel. Like you don't even give them your ID anymore.
Facial rec.
So
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah,
fan of
so
that.
too
yeah,
late.
like I did it today, yesterday to get here, and they were like, "No, you're signed up for touchless." And I was like, "When did I sign up?"
Yeah.
Like, I
Right.
don't recall this.
Yeah,
So
look,
I
the
walk
fact that
in.
we're on this platform, it's too late. Your face is already out there.
Yeah,
Sure, my face
that's
is
true.
already out there, just like it is on the dating apps, just as it is on anything.
Mm.
But in this case, it's the government controlling your data and then combining it with other things to create a profile for you. And I don't know what your politics are, but I don't particularly trust this current administration in the United States. So for
I don't
them to
trust
have
any of
my
them.
information, well,
I don't
there's
trust
that
any of
too.
them. But again, it's too late. You got a passport. You got a picture in your passport. It's too late for all of
True.
us.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
So
yeah.
now, if I had
But
a baby right now, would I be a little bit more careful? Probably. But again, once you have a passport, once you have TSA pre-check, once you have any of those things, you're already in the system.
Actually, I was gonna say comment on that when it comes to dating. If you ever want like a really good tip when you're dating, at least in the US, don't date anyone that doesn't have global entry or TSA pre-check. Primarily because the government already did the background check for you.
oh
Oh,
wow, that's a
that's
smart tip.
clever.
That's a hot
Yeah,
tip.
That is a
yeah,
good tip.
Also, don't date anyone who doesn't even have a passport.
Oh, there's that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I've had one or two of those. I'm like, this is never gonna work. Seriously, like it's just never going to work. They're like, I've traveled across the country. Sure, but I want to travel
Sure.
outside the country. It's just never
Yeah,
gonna work. We don't have similar interests at this point.
yeah,
I'm a half and half on that one. I mean, I hear you, but I mean, sometimes for different reasons, people don't travel. It could be a lot of people have a hard time traveling by themselves. So you'll meet someone who wants to travel, but they just don't know where to begin. So, that's, I mean, but that's definitely for a younger crowd. I mean, again, at my luxurious age, if you haven't been on a plane, I can't help you,
yeah,
but if someone's meeting someone in their 20s and they're like trying to get their life together, I'm not opposed to that. If they're in their
No, I get
50s and they
that.
haven't traveled, that's another story.
And I totally get that. Like I'm talking about someone when I was in my 40s, he was in his 40s, and he's like, "Yeah, I've traveled all over the country." I'm like, "Oh, that's great. You like to travel. Where have you been overseas?" He's like, "Oh, I haven't bothered. I don't even have a passport." Like it just didn't
Yeah.
even seem like an interest. So that's what I
mm-mm.
mean. Like the interest wasn't even
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. If the interest isn't there, then it's not going to work. But if he were to say, I'm interested in traveling overseas, I just haven't found someone to go with, then there I would be inclined to continue the relationship, if you
Another
will.
perspective on it. Yes. I like a
Yeah.
spin.
Absolutely. And he should have spoken to you because that was not what he said. That's not at all what he said. He was like, "Well, why would you want to travel so much overseas? Like, there's so many places to see here." And I'm like, "Sure, I know that. We're from the
Yeah.
same country, but there's also so many other places around. There's
Yeah.
literally a whole world outside these borders."
Yeah.
So it was almost like
In his
discouraging me.
defense, I don't know this person, but in his defense, I will say 50 states is basically 50 different countries. So to a certain degree, he has a little more international flair.
I
Fair.
don't give that. I don't give that.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Fair. I,
If he had said the overseas territories, maybe Puerto Rico and Guam and sure.
Um,
U.S. Virgin Islands, like, yeah.
you know what?
Exactly.
No
Exactly.
passport needed.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I will say I side with you, Derek. If you don't have a passport, I have two. Like I like to like just the idea of having like multiple passports. Like if something happens in one country, I can easily get out. Like that's my reason. So it's like
Hey,
if you don't have a passport, to me it's just like
I agree. How do you live? I don't understand it
yeah.
myself, but to those people who are listening, don't have a passport, there's still hope for you.
Yeah. I will
And
say
half the
another
listeners
trick.
all go away.
I will say another trick, since we're talking on the or tip since we're talking on the subject is if you have an ID card from another country. I know not a lot of people do. Like when I travel, I have both of my passports. I use my American one to get into a country, and then I use my Dominican one to travel within the country. And this is just, it's a joke, but the truth is there's some truth in jokes is no one wants to kidnap a Dominican. American is always their first come, first choice. So just a trick, like leave your American passport at home, like don't even bother using it and travel with like some type of ID.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That is smart.
It's
Oh,
actually
people
not a
don't
bad
even think I'm
idea.
American. People don't even think
Yeah.
I'm American.
Most people look at me and they're like, where are you from? Like, you're not this, you're not that. You don't speak with an
I
accent.
know.
Like
Yeah.
we can't figure it out. So for me, it's like it's beneficial since I have a very ambiguous look, but it's just like I don't know. I never like to say that I'm American when I'm traveling.
I just say where I was last at. So when I went to Tunisia, I said, "Oh, I'm living in Spain." And they're like, "Oh, you're from Spain?"
Ah.
I'm like, "I'm living in Spain." And they just kind of leave it alone at that. They just leave it alone there. And I had to speak Spanish, which wasn't great. I was very bad, but the person I was talking to spoke less Spanish than I did. So it kind of worked out. It worked in my favor.
That's good. That's very good.
Nice vague answer.
Hmm.
I like it. I like it.
Love it.
Well,
Love
Leah,
it.
I know you have to head to the airport.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy, busy day to do this with us. We appreciate you. Derek, I'll leave you to wrap it up.
All right. Leah, again, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your tips and your advice.
Yeah.
And for those of you in the audience who are listening and watching, feel free to send us any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you, hear any tips or tricks you may have to share. And we will see you the next time on Things They Don't Teach Us. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.